Kindness is often celebrated as one of the greatest virtues a person can carry, and in many ways it truly is. It is the ability to show compassion, to give without expecting in return, to treat others with humanity. Yet, what most people never realize is that kindness, when practiced without boundaries, does not always elevate you. It can diminish you. When you are kind to everyone, even to those who do not value or respect you, your kindness ceases to be a strength and begins to look like weakness. People are observant, they notice not just what you give, but how you give it and to whom you give it. If you consistently give kindness to those who misuse it, you silently train them to see you as someone they can exploit. That is why kindness without boundaries does not command respect. It erodes it. Life demands balance. Too much of anything, even something as noble as kindness, can become harmful when it is misplaced. Imagine a person who always says yes to every request, who bends over backward to please everyone, who never refuses even when their own needs are sacrificed. At first, they may be admired for their generosity. People may say they are such a kind soul. But over time, something changes. The admiration fades, and in its place grows expectation. People stop appreciating and start assuming. They stop saying thank you, and they start saying, of course they will do it. Slowly, the person who was once admired for their kindness becomes invisible, taken for granted, and even disrespected. Why? Because they showed kindness without setting boundaries, and what is given without limits often loses its value. When you refuse to set boundaries, you become a people pleaser, and while people pleasers think they are loved for their kindness, the reality is they are often used for their compliance. They say yes to things they don't want to do. They allow others to disrespect them. They overextend themselves trying to avoid conflict or rejection. But in the end, this behavior does not win genuine respect. People respect those who stand firm, who know their worth, who say no when necessary. Kindness that bends into people pleasing is not seen as strength. It is seen as weakness. There is also a deeper danger in being endlessly kind. You neglect yourself. Every time you say yes when your heart is screaming no, you betray your own needs. Every time you tolerate disrespect in the name of being kind, you silently tell yourself that your dignity is not worth protecting. Over time, this self-neglect eats away at your confidence. You begin to feel invisible, unappreciated, exhausted. Kindness without boundaries turns into self-destruction. The very thing that is supposed to uplift you begins to drain you. And while you are busy pouring into everyone else, no one is pouring into you. Eventually, you are left empty. Respect, both from others and from yourself, cannot exist in this space. People may enjoy the benefits of your constant kindness, but deep down, they will not respect you. They will respect the one who knows when to give and when to stop. They will respect the one who says, I will help, but not at the cost of my own well-being. They will respect the one who values their time, their energy, and their dignity. Because kindness with boundaries is not weakness, it is wisdom. It communicates that you are strong enough to care, but also strong enough to protect yourself. Boundaries transform kindness from weakness into power. A boundary is simply the line that says, this is what I will allow, and this is what I will not. When you set boundaries, your kindness becomes more intentional. It is no longer given out of fear of rejection or the desire to be liked. It is given out of choice. And choice is powerful. People respect those who give because they want to, not because they are afraid to say no. When you draw lines around your kindness, you elevate its value. People stop taking it for granted because they realize it is not automatic. It is earned. Think of kindness like water. Water is life, giving, but if it is poured endlessly into a vessel with no bottom, it is wasted. Your kindness is the same. If you give it endlessly to people who do not appreciate it, it flows away unnoticed. But when you pour water into a vessel that can hold it, it nourishes, it refreshes, it sustains. Likewise, when you give kindness to those who value it, it multiplies. It grows trust, love, loyalty, and respect. But to make this distinction, you must first be willing to stop giving kindness blindly to everyone. There will always be people who interpret kindness as weakness. They will see your willingness to help as an opportunity to manipulate. They will see your forgiveness as permission to repeat their offenses. They will see your patience as an invitation to push your limits. And if you continue being kind to such people, you do not uplift them, you enable them. You teach them that they can treat you poorly without consequence. You must recognize this truth. Kindness without boundaries does not make bad people better. It makes you smaller. Real kindness is not about allowing mistreatment. It is about offering goodness in a way that inspires growth, not exploitation. To stop being kind to everyone does not mean becoming cruel. It means learning discernment. It means asking, does this person value my kindness? Does this situation deserve my kindness? Will my kindness here create growth, or will it simply enable harm? When you start asking these questions, your kindness becomes sharper, more meaningful, and more respected. People no longer see you as someone who can be taken advantage of. They see you as someone whose kindness is a gift, not a weakness. There is another hidden truth. People often respect those who disappoint them more than those who always please them. Why? Because someone who says no demonstrates strength. Someone who refuses to tolerate disrespect shows self-worth. Someone who walks away instead of endlessly forgiving shows courage. These qualities inspire respect in a way blind kindness never can. People may not like it when you stop being kind to everyone, but they will respect it, and respect is worth far more than temporary approval. Kindness without boundaries can also prevent you from reaching your own goals. When you are busy carrying everyone else's burdens, you neglect your own journey. You cannot build your dreams while constantly fixing everyone else's. You cannot achieve greatness while pouring all your time into people who give nothing back. Your kindness must serve your growth as much as it serves others. Otherwise, it becomes a chain that holds you back instead of wings that lift you. People respect those who chase their dreams unapologetically, who prioritize their purpose, who know when to say, I cannot give to you right now because I must give to myself. It is also important to understand that kindness should never come at the cost of truth. Many people avoid being honest because they think it is kinder to stay silent. But silence in the face of wrong is not kindness. It is complicity. Real kindness sometimes means saying the hard thing, setting the tough boundary, holding people accountable. It means caring enough to say, I won't let you treat me this way, or I won't stand by while you harm yourself or others. That kind of kindness earns respect because it is rooted in courage, not fear. When you stop being kind to everyone, you begin to attract the right people into your life. Those who only wanted to use you will leave, but those who respect you will stay. The ones who stay will value your kindness because they know it is genuine, not forced. They will appreciate it more because they know it comes from choice, not obligation. By being selective with your kindness, you create deeper, stronger, and more meaningful connections, and respect naturally flows from those connections. Kindness without boundaries is weakness because it dilutes your strength, it erodes your self-worth, and it invites disrespect. But kindness with boundaries is power. It tells the world, I am compassionate, but I am not a doormat. I am generous, but I am not unlimited. I am kind, but I am not blind. That is the kind of kindness that inspires not just gratitude, but respect. So stop being kind to everyone. Be kind to those who earn it, those who reciprocate it, those who deserve it. And above all, be kind to yourself first. Because when you respect yourself enough to protect your kindness, you transform it from weakness into strength. You no longer beg for respect, you command it simply by showing that your kindness is valuable, rare, and worth cherishing. Kindness is the foundation of every other kind of respect. Without it, no amount of kindness toward others can ever bring you peace, fulfillment, or true recognition. Many people spend their lives trying to please others, trying to be available for everyone, trying to meet expectations that were never even their own. They believe that if they keep giving, sacrificing, and bending, people will love them, value them, and respect them. But what often happens is the opposite. The more you neglect yourself for others, the less you are seen. You become someone who is always there, always giving, always available, but rarely appreciated. And eventually, the cost is not just external, it is internal. You begin to lose sight of who you are. That is why kindness must come first. Being kind to yourself does not mean becoming selfish or uncaring. It means recognizing that you are a person with needs, feelings, and dreams, just like everyone else. It means refusing to treat yourself as if your worth is less than the worth of others. Every time you ignore your own needs to meet someone else's, every time you silence your truth to avoid conflict, every time you sacrifice your well-being just to keep the peace, you tell yourself that you do not matter. Over time, this belief sinks deep into your identity. You stop asking for what you deserve. You stop chasing what you desire. You shrink, thinking that shrinking is kindness, but it is not. True kindness begins with treating yourself with the same dignity and compassion that you offer others. Think of how much energy you spend trying to uplift people around you. You encourage them when they are down, you listen when they need an ear, you help when they need support. But how often do you extend that same energy inward? When you fail, do you speak to yourself with the same encouragement you give your friends, or do you criticize yourself harshly? When you feel exhausted, do you give yourself rest, or do you push yourself harder just to meet others' demands? Self-kindness is about shifting this pattern. It is about being willing to give yourself the same care, patience, and love you so freely give away. One of the biggest obstacles to self-kindness is guilt. Society teaches people, especially those who are naturally compassionate, that putting themselves first is selfish. But this is a lie. Taking care of yourself does not take away from anyone else. In fact, it empowers you to give more authentically. Imagine trying to pour from an empty cup. If you do not refill yourself, eventually you have nothing left to give. Self-kindness is that refill. It is the moment you say, I need to rest. I need to protect my peace. I need to invest in my dreams. And when you do, you show others that your time and energy have value. That is when respect begins. People do not respect those who constantly abandon themselves. They respect those who honor themselves. Boundaries are one of the greatest expressions of self-kindness. When you draw a line and say, this is what I will allow, and this is what I will not, you are not being cruel. You are being kind to yourself. You are protecting your mental health, your dignity, and your worth. And boundaries are not just about others, they are about you too. Self-kindness means setting boundaries with your own habits, your own negative self-talk, your own tendency to overextend. It means being disciplined enough to say, I will not sabotage myself. I will not feed thoughts that tell me I am not enough. I will not keep running after people who do not care for me. That discipline is love in action, and it transforms the way you move through the world. When you begin practicing self-kindness, you notice how your relationships change. Those who only valued you for your self-neglect may pull away. They may call you selfish. They may criticize you because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. But the ones who truly care for you will understand. They will celebrate your growth. They will adjust because they recognize that self-kindness makes you stronger, not weaker. And most importantly, you will begin to attract people who respect you, who mirror the value you place on yourself. Energy always attracts energy, and when you radiate self-respect, it is impossible for people not to notice. Another powerful aspect of self-kindness is learning to forgive yourself. Too often, people live trapped in guilt over mistakes they made in the past. They replay failures in their minds, criticizing themselves for being too naive, too trusting, too unprepared. But the truth is, mistakes are part of the journey. Self-kindness means giving yourself permission to grow without shame. It means saying, I made a mistake, but that mistake does not define me. I learned from it and now I move forward. Without this kind of forgiveness, you stay chained to the past. With it, you are free to create a stronger future. Self-kindness also shows up in the way you talk to yourself. The voice inside your head is powerful. It shapes your confidence, your courage, your decisions. If that voice is constantly criticizing you, doubting you, belittling you, then no amount of kindness from the outside world will ever feel enough. But when you train that voice to be encouraging, compassionate, and understanding, you give yourself strength that no one can take away. You become your own motivator, your own friend, your own source of love, and from that place of strength, you stop needing constant validation from others. People respect those who are secure in themselves, those who do not beg for approval, those who walk with quiet confidence. That confidence begins with self-kindness. Time is another way to measure self-kindness. How you spend your time reflects what you value. If all your hours are spent catering to others while neglecting your own passions, dreams, and rest, then you are telling yourself that you do not deserve fulfillment. But when you carve out time for your goals, for your hobbies, for your peace, you affirm your worth. You tell yourself that your life is not only about service to others, but also about honoring who you are meant to be. That balance makes your kindness more authentic, because it comes from fullness, not depletion. The path of self-kindness is not always easy. It will feel uncomfortable at first to say no. It will feel strange to choose yourself after years of putting everyone else first. It will feel selfish to rest when you are used to overworking, or to walk away from relationships that no longer honor you. But with time, you will see that this is not selfishness. It is survival. It is strength. It is the key to becoming someone others cannot help but respect. Because when you respect yourself, you set the standard for how others must treat you. Kindness is also about courage. Courage to admit when you are hurting. Courage to take a step back when you are overwhelmed. Courage to stand up for yourself when others push your limits. Courage to chase your dreams even when people doubt you. It is not about waiting for someone else to save you. It is about saving yourself. And when people see that courage, they respect it. They may not always like it, but they cannot ignore it. Ultimately, kindness teaches you that your worth is not determined by how much you give away. Your worth is inherent. It is already within you. You do not have to earn it through endless sacrifice. You do not have to beg for it through constant service. You simply have to honor it, protect it, and nurture it. That is the essence of self-kindness. It is the foundation of self-respect, and it is the key to earning respect from others. Because people will always treat you the way you treat yourself. If you neglect yourself, they will neglect you. If you honor yourself, they will honor you. When you practice self-kindness, you stop chasing validation and start attracting respect. You no longer feel the need to please everyone, because you are no longer afraid of being alone. You are no longer controlled by guilt, because you understand that your well-being matters. You are no longer drained by endless giving, because you have learned the balance of giving to yourself first. That is the kind of strength that cannot be ignored. That is the kind of presence that commands respect without demanding it. Kindness is one of the most powerful tools a person can carry, but its true value lies in how, where, and to whom it is given. When kindness is distributed blindly to everyone, it loses its impact. People start to take it for granted, to expect it without gratitude, and even to see it as weakness. But when kindness is intentional, when it is reserved for those who value it and reciprocate it, it becomes a force that not only builds stronger connections, but also earns lasting respect. Selective kindness is not about withholding goodness. It is about elevating it, making sure it serves its true purpose, instead of being wasted on those who do not appreciate it. Consider the way people react to rare things. A resource that is infinite and always available is rarely valued, but when something is scarce, when it requires effort to earn, it becomes precious. The same applies to kindness. If you are kind to everyone equally, without boundaries, your kindness may be seen as ordinary. But when people realize that your kindness is thoughtful, intentional, and given because they matter to you, it suddenly carries weight. It becomes a gift, not an expectation. This distinction is what makes selective kindness so powerful. It transforms kindness into something respected instead of exploited. Selective kindness teaches others that your energy is valuable. When you refuse to waste your kindness on those who belittle you, disrespect you, or repeatedly hurt you, you send a message about your worth. You show that your compassion is not endless, that your heart is not a tool for others to use, but a treasure to be honored. This does not make you cold, it makes you wise. It ensures that your kindness remains powerful instead of being drained. It allows you to invest in relationships that grow, instead of ones that consume. And through this discernment, people begin to respect not only your kindness, but also the strength behind it. Respect grows when people see that you do not give your kindness cheaply. If someone realizes they cannot manipulate you, if they see that you walk away from those who disrespect you, they begin to admire you, even if they never say it aloud. Boundaries command respect, and selective kindness is rooted in boundaries. It tells others, I will give you my support if you value it. I will share my compassion if you treat it with care, but if you waste it, I will withdraw it. This balanced approach creates relationships that are healthier, stronger, and built on mutual respect rather than one-sided sacrifice. One of the biggest mistakes people make is confusing selective kindness with selfishness. It is not selfish to choose where your energy flows, it is strategic. Just as a gardener does not plant seeds in dry, barren soil, you should not plant your kindness where it will not grow. A wise gardener chooses fertile ground, waters it with care, and harvests abundance. In the same way, selective kindness allows you to invest your compassion in people and situations that create growth, trust, and loyalty. By being selective, you multiply the impact of your kindness instead of wasting it. Selective kindness also teaches people the difference between privilege and entitlement. When someone receives your kindness and knows it is intentional, they see it as a privilege. They appreciate it, they cherish it, and they respect you more deeply. But if you give kindness endlessly to those who never reciprocate, they begin to see it as entitlement, something they deserve no matter how they treat you. That entitlement destroys respect, but when kindness is selective, it remains a privilege, and privilege always commands more respect than entitlement. Another strength of selective kindness is that it helps you maintain balance in your life. Many people who try to be kind to everyone eventually burn out. They stretch themselves too thin, trying to carry everyone else's burdens, and end up feeling exhausted, invisible, and unappreciated. But selective kindness conserves your energy. It ensures you are not pouring into people who drain you, but rather into those who uplift you. And when your energy is balanced, your kindness becomes stronger, more authentic, and more impactful. People respect those who can give without losing themselves in the process. Selective kindness is also a reflection of self-respect. When you honor yourself enough to say, "Not everyone deserves my energy," you show others that you value your time and worth. Self-respect naturally inspires external respect. People notice when someone does not tolerate disrespect, when someone walks away from toxic dynamics, when someone chooses peace over chaos. This self-respect is magnified through selective kindness, because it shows that your compassion is powerful, but it is also protected. That duality, strength with softness, commands deep admiration. Think about the relationships that matter most in life. They are not built on one-sided giving, they thrive on reciprocity. Selective kindness ensures that your relationships are mutual, not draining. When you give to those who give back, you create bonds that are stronger, healthier, and more enduring. These relationships become sources of support rather than stress, and as people experience your intentional kindness, they begin to hold it in higher regard. They respect you not only for being kind, but also for being discerning enough to protect your value. Selective kindness also helps filter the people in your life. When you stop being kind to everyone, some people will leave. They will leave because they were only there to take advantage of your unlimited giving. And while their absence may feel uncomfortable at first, it is actually a gift. They're leaving clear space for people who respect you, who see your kindness as valuable rather than exploitable. In this way, selective kindness acts like a magnet. It repels those who do not deserve you and attracts those who do. Another truth about selective kindness is that it teaches others responsibility. When people know your kindness is not automatic, they are encouraged to treat you with more care. They recognize that your patience, your help, and your compassion are not endless. This awareness forces them to reflect on their own behavior. In many cases, it motivates them to rise higher, to treat you with the same respect you show them. In this way, selective kindness not only protects you, but also helps others grow. Selective kindness also keeps your kindness authentic. When you force yourself to be kind to everyone, even when you are drained, your kindness becomes mechanical, empty, even resentful. People can sense when your heart is not in it, but when you give kindness selectively, it comes from a genuine place. It carries sincerity, and sincerity always leaves a deeper impact. Authentic kindness is remembered, appreciated, and respected in ways that forced kindness never can be. There is also power in the contrast that selective kindness creates. When people know that you are not kind to everyone, they value your kindness more when they receive it. It stands out, it carries weight. It leaves an impression. This contrast turns your kindness into a signature, something rare, something memorable, something respected. And in a world where kindness is often undervalued, making it rare ensures it remains powerful. Selective kindness is not about closing your heart. It is about protecting it. It allows you to continue being compassionate without being consumed, to continue giving without being drained, to continue uplifting without losing yourself. It ensures that your kindness remains a light, not a burden, and most importantly, it ensures that your kindness earns respect because it is given with purpose, not out of fear or obligation. Ultimately, selective kindness builds respect because it shows strength. It shows that you are not desperate to be liked, that you do not need to please everyone, that you are not afraid to walk away from those who misuse you. It shows that your kindness is not weakness, but a choice. And people respect choice. They respect those who know when to give and when to stop, when to open their heart and when to close the door. Selective kindness is not about being less kind. It is about being more powerful in your kindness. It transforms kindness from something ordinary into something extraordinary, from something expected into something cherished, from something overlooked into something respected. It tells the world, my kindness is a gift. If you value it, you will have it. If you abuse it, you will lose it. And that is how kindness earns the respect it deserves, not by being given to everyone, but by being reserved for those who honor it.